if I told you that the thing you're most afraid of, the thing that keeps you up at night, that uncertain tomorrow, that unexpected diagnosis, that sudden change, what if I told you it doesn't have the power to destroy you? What if I told you that you've been giving fear too much of your attention, too much of your energy, too much of your heart? You see, fear thrives in the unknown. It creeps in when we can't see the full picture, whispering lies that sound like truth. You won't make it. You're not ready. This will be the end of you. But here's the reality. Fear is a liar, and you are not created to live in its shadow. Life will always hold uncertainty. Plans will change. Doors will close. Storms will rise. But what you carry inside you is greater than anything you will face ahead. There is a strength in you, a fire in your soul, and a promise over your life that no fear can cancel. You don't need to fear what's next, not because it's easy, but because you're not alone. The one who holds the future also holds you. And with him you can walk into the unknown with peace, purpose, and power. When we look ahead and see uncertainty, challenges, or change, fear often tries to grip our hearts. We begin to ask questions. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if tomorrow doesn't look like today? But in the midst of all those what ifs, there is one truth that anchors the soul. God is already in tomorrow. The future may be hidden from our eyes, but it is never hidden from His. He stands outside of time. He sees the end from the beginning. What you and I see as a mystery, He sees as a masterpiece in progress. Imagine a shepherd leading his flock. The sheep don't know the full journey. They may only see the next step, the next patch of grass, or the next hill to climb. But the shepherd sees the whole path. He knows where the still waters are. He knows where the wolves might be lurking. He leads not just with knowledge, but with care. In the same way, God leads us with perfect understanding of where we are and where we're going. When you're walking into a season that feels unfamiliar, when doors are closing or new chapters are beginning, remind yourself that the shepherd is already at the next turn, already preparing the way. The reason we fear what's next is because we think we're going into it alone. We think we have to figure it all out, plan every detail, protect ourselves from every possibility. But that's never what we were meant to do. Scripture reminds us again and again, do not be afraid, for I am with you. Not just with you now, but with you in what's next. There has never been a moment in your past where God abandoned you. And there won't be a moment in your future where He will leave your side. Even in moments when things didn't go the way you hoped, when the job fell through, when the diagnosis came, when the relationship ended, God was there, not causing the pain, but working through it, not abandoning you, but sustaining you. And He will do the same with whatever lies ahead. Because He's not waiting to see how your story turns out. He's the author of it. So the next time your heart starts to race over the unknown, remember this: you're not stepping into a dark room alone. You're stepping into a place where God already is. He's been preparing it for you, shaping it for your growth, and filling it with His grace. What feels like uncertainty to you is clarity to Him. What feels risky to you is already secure in His hands. If God is already in tomorrow, then you can face it with peace today. Not because you know what will happen, but because you know the one who does. Fear can feel powerful. It creeps in quietly, sometimes disguising itself as caution or concern, and before we realize it, it begins to control our thoughts, our decisions, even our prayers. But fear, though it may feel overwhelming, is not from God. It's not part of His nature, and it's not part of the gifts He gives to His children. When God gives something, it's full of life, hope, and strength. Fear, on the other hand, drains us, paralyzes us, and clouds our vision. That's how we know it doesn't come. We are reminded in Scripture that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Think about that for a moment. If you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, that's not a gift from heaven. That's an attack from the enemy or a storm from within. And it's important that we recognize the source. Because what we tolerate, we give power to. When you start to believe fear is natural or even necessary, you begin to let it grow. But when you remember that fear is not of God, you begin to fight back with the truth. God gives power, not weakness. That means you're not as helpless as fear tries to make you feel. You have a divine strength within you. He gives love, not panic. That means you're surrounded by grace, even when you feel threatened. And he gives a sound mind, not confusion. That means you don't have to live in the chaos of fear's lies. You can walk in the calm assurance of God's truth. The spirit of fear may shout, but the Spirit of God whispers peace. You have to choose which voice you'll listen to. When fear tries to take over, it's not just trying to scare you, it's trying to distract you from your purpose. If the enemy can keep you focused on what might go wrong, he can keep you from stepping into what God has already made right. That's why fear is so persistent. It knows that if you ever truly believe you are equipped, called, and covered, you'll walk in a boldness that cannot be stopped. So fear fights to keep you small, but God is calling you to rise. The answer to fear is not simply courage, it's faith. Faith is what reminds us that God is with us, even when we can't see the outcome. Faith is what gives us the strength to take the next step, even when the path isn't clear. Faith tells fear, you're not the boss of me. I already belong to someone greater. So when fear knocks on the door of your heart, don't invite it in. Don't give it your peace, your sleep, or your joy. Instead, stand firm in the truth that fear is not from God. Reject it. Rebuke it. Replace it with the Spirit He has given you, the Spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. There are moments in life when the path ahead seems unclear. The job is uncertain. The diagnosis hasn't come yet. The relationship is on shaky ground. Or the plans you've made suddenly begin to unravel. In these moments, it's easy to feel shaken, to wonder if God is still with you, to question what comes next. But it's in the uncertainty, in the not knowing, that your faith is put to the test, and also where it has the opportunity to grow the most. When everything is clear, we lean on understanding. But when everything is foggy, we are invited to lean on God. Faith doesn't thrive in comfort. It doesn't grow in predictability. It grows in the dark, in the quiet, in the unknown. Just like a seed buried beneath the soil, unseen and unmoving, something begins to happen deep within when we choose to trust God even when we don't know how it will all work out. That trust, that decision to believe without having all the answers, is the essence of faith, and God honors that kind of faith. He responds not to how clearly we see, but to how deeply we believe. When you're unsure of what's ahead, your first instinct might be to panic, to plan, to fix everything with your own hands. But faith says, I don't have to see what's next to believe that God is already there. Faith says, even if I don't understand today, I trust the one who holds tomorrow. And that kind of faith calms the storms inside us, even when the storms around us keep raging. God often uses uncertainty to draw us closer to Him. When we don't have all the answers, we finally start asking the right questions. We stop looking around for solutions and start looking up. We start praying with urgency, listening with humility, and walking with dependency. And that's exactly where He wants us, not self-sufficient, but God. Because when we walk in faith through uncertain times, we begin to see that he is faithful, not just when things make sense, but even when they don't. You may feel like you're walking blind, but the truth is you're being guided. You're not wandering, you're being led. Each step you take in faith is a step that builds spiritual muscle. A step that says, God, I trust you more than I trust my own plans. And when you look back, you'll see that it was in the uncertainty that you became stronger, more grounded, more aware of his presence than ever before. So if you're standing in a place where the next step feels unsure, don't give up. Don't rush ahead trying to force clarity. Sometimes faith is simply staying still long enough to hear God say, I'm with you. I haven't left. Keep trusting me. Uncertainty may test your faith, but it also proves it. And in that proving, your trust becomes unshakable. Not because life is predictable, but because God is faithful. When we think about the future, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We don't know what's coming, and the unknown can be intimidating. But for those who trust in God, there's a deep and powerful truth that brings peace. The future is not random, chaotic, or out of control. It is held by the Creator himself. The same hands that shaped the mountains, the same voice that spoke stars into being, are the ones writing your story. You are not drifting through life. You are being led by the one who knows the end from the beginning. This changes everything. It means that your life is not an accident. Your journey isn't a collection of random events, the closed doors, the delays, the unexpected detours. They're not mistakes. They're part of a greater plan, woven together by a God who sees not just what is, but what will be. He knows where you've been, he knows where you are, and he knows exactly where you're going. And he's not guessing, he's guiding. When we forget who holds the future, we start to live in fear. We start to believe that our security depends on our ability to control outcomes, to plan perfectly, to make no mistakes. But control is an illusion. We were never meant to carry the weight of the future. That's God's role, not ours. What we are called to do is trust, not blindly, but with the confidence that comes from knowing who holds our lives in his hand. God is not surprised by anything that's ahead. He doesn't get caught off guard. He's not scrambling to fix things or figure things out. His plans are perfect, even when they don't make immediate sense to us. That's why we can rest, even in uncertainty, not because we understand everything, but because we trust the one who does. He's not just watching our story unfold, he's writing it. And when God is the author, we can be sure it's being written with wisdom, purpose, and love. There may be moments when the road ahead looks impossible. Maybe it's a diagnosis that shakes your world, or a loss that breaks your heart. Maybe it's a decision you didn't expect to face, or a dream that seems delayed. In those moments, you can either believe the fear that says you're alone, or you can believe the truth that says your future is in God's hands. One leads to anxiety, the other leads to peace. So when doubt rises, when fear knocks at your door, remind yourself of this. The creator of the universe, the one who hung every star and called it by name, is the same one who calls you by name. And he is holding your future not loosely, but securely. Not carelessly, but intentionally. Nothing about your tomorrow is too big for him, and nothing about your past disqualifies you from his plan. Trust the author. He's not finished writing your story. The struggles you face today are not wasted. They are not meaningless interruptions or unfortunate accidents. They are preparation. Every trial, every hardship, every moment of pressure is shaping something inside you that will be necessary for tomorrow. God never allows pain without purpose. He uses today's struggles to build tomorrow's strength. What feels like resistance is often training. What feels like delay is often development. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. When we go through tough seasons, our first instinct is often to ask, why is this happening to me? But a better question might be, What is God building in me through this? Because the truth is, our character is not forged in ease. Our patience, our compassion, our endurance, and even our faith are not formed when everything is comfortable. They are developed in the fire of difficulty, in the long nights, in the prayers that seem unanswered, and in the choices we make when no one else is watching. Just like a tree needs deep roots to withstand a storm, we need spiritual roots to endure the challenges of life. And those roots don't grow in the sunshine alone. They grow when the rain comes, when the winds blow, when the soil is shaken. It's in those moments that our trust in God is driven deeper. It's when we have no choice but to rely on Him that we discover how faithful He truly is. The strength you need for what's next may not look like what you expect. It may come in the form of perseverance. It may come through brokenness that leads to greater humility. It may come through learning how to keep going, even when you feel like giving up. And once you've walked through that valley, you'll come out the other side stronger, not just for yourself, but for others. You'll be able to encourage someone else going through the same thing, not because you've read about it, but because you've lived it. God uses what we go through today to prepare us for what He has planned tomorrow. That means your struggle has purpose. It means the pressure has a point. It means nothing is wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the disappointment. It's all being used by God to form you into someone who can carry more, love deeper, lead better, and trust stronger. So instead of resenting the struggle, start recognizing the shaping. Instead of fearing the trial, start focusing on the training. You are being equipped for something greater. And when the day comes that you step into that next season, the one that felt so far away, you'll realize you were ready for it because God had been preparing you all along, not in a single moment, but through every single moment. Today's struggle is tomorrow's strength. And with God, nothing is ever wasted. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of God in the midst of them. Life doesn't always give us still waters. Storms come, waves crash, and sometimes the winds are so strong that we feel like we might be blown away. But peace is not about calm circumstances. It's about a calm heart. And that kind of peace doesn't come from this world. It comes from knowing that God is near, that He is in control, and that we are never alone, no matter how chaotic things may seem. So many people search for peace in places that can't provide it. They chase success thinking it will bring security. They seek comfort thinking it will bring rest. They try to control every outcome thinking it will silence their anxiety. But true peace isn't found in control or comfort. It's found in surrender. It's found when we stop trying to hold everything together and start trusting the one who already has it all in His hands. Peace begins when trust begins. And trust begins when we remember who God is. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The same God who parted the sea, who shut the mouths of lions, who walked with 3 men in the fire. He is the same God who walks with you. And just as He didn't abandon them, He won't abandon you. He doesn't promise a life without trouble, but He does promise His presence in the trouble. He doesn't always calm the storm around you, but He always offers to calm the storm within you. There is a kind of peace that passes all understanding. It doesn't always make sense, especially when life is falling apart, but that's what makes it divine. It's a peace that keeps your heart steady when everything else is shaking. It's the quiet confidence that says, even now, even here, my God is with me. And that peace doesn't just carry you, it becomes a witness. People see it and wonder how you're still standing, how you're still smiling, how you're still believing. And in that moment, your peace becomes your testimony. When you're facing uncertainty, you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to hold on to the truth. God is still good, still sovereign, still present. You may not know what's next, but you know who's already there. That alone is enough to silence fear. That alone is enough to bring peace to your soul. So let the world shake, let the winds blow, let the future remain unknown. You have something greater than certainty. You have God's presence. And where He is, peace follows. Not the fragile kind that depends on perfect conditions, but the unshakable kind that anchors your soul. You don't have to wait for peace until the storm is over. You can have it now in the middle of the storm, because the one who commands the wind and the waves is in the boat with you, and He never leaves. My friend, if there's one truth that holds all of this together, it is this: you don't have to fear what's next, because God is already there. He's not waiting for you at the finish line. He's walking with you every step of the way. Whether you're facing uncertainty, waiting in silence, or standing at the edge of a new season with trembling hands, remember, your life is in the hands of a faithful God. He is your guide through the unknown, your strength in the trial, your peace in the storm, and your hope for tomorrow. The road ahead may not be easy, but it will never be empty. God has gone before you, and He is preparing you for more than you can imagine. So lift your head, let faith rise above fear, and step forward. Not with anxiety, but with confidence. Not because you know what's coming, but because you know who is coming with you. As you move forward into whatever lies ahead, I pray that peace will guard your heart, that courage will strengthen your steps, and that joy will meet you along the way. Good luck on your journey. Keep trusting, keep walking, and never forget, you are never alone. Thank you for giving me the privilege to walk with you, even for a few moments. God bless you always.